please tell us about what your job is and like what does it consist of?
Sure. So I'm one of 3 assistant fire chiefs here in the department. Again, as I mentioned before, we're a department of 37 firefighters here. So we basically provide a service to the community with the mutual aid agreement that we also provide this service outside of the base and the surrounding community. We provide medical. We also provide airport firefighting, right, for the military aircraft that we have here on board El Centro. We also provide a hazmat at the operations level, and we also provide structural firefighting. Right. So, with that being said, just to give you a little bit of background here about what normally consists of is we're going to go ahead and take you outside and have you take a look at some of our apparatuses and some of the resources that again that we provide for you guys.
What are the different vehicles you guys have in this installation, and what is their purpose for each one?
Okay, so we have basically what we have here is, well, first where we're located at. This is the fire station, but as you can look around or whatever, this is not a typical fire station. What this is an old remodeled hangar where we normally kept aircraft, and it was converted over to the fire station. So here, what is called the apparatus floor. Here we have, as you take a look around, we have a 75-foot ladder truck here that we just got here about a month ago from San Diego. So we're soon to put that in service. And that's basically a truck that it gives us a different mission as far as structural firefighting. It gives us the ability to go ahead and do reach some of the higher occupancies in structural and also aircraft. This right here is what we call our first run engine. Right, so this is basically with anybody in the community here on the base that dials 911 when they need, they either have a house fire or anything like that. This is the structural pumper that we go ahead and send out as a first run engine company. If you look over here, the bigger apparatus that we have here, this is a TI 3000, so basically it carries 3,000 gallons of water, which is a requirement for us to have here in the airfield. The type of airfield that we have here is a Category 2 airfield, which means in the Department of Defense, we got categorized from Category 1 all the way to Category 6. This is a relatively small, which means that we don't have the typical C5, C17, which requires a really large amount of water. So this one right here, between this apparatus here and what we call the striker, here also we exceed the minimal amount of gallons that we need here on the airfield. The one that you have here, the smaller one, this is what we call a rescue vehicle. So basically anytime we respond to, let's just say, a vehicle accident or confined space or anything, special operation, that what we would call, this particular apparatus is outfitted for that. If you look over here as well, we got a couple of utility vehicles. Here on the left-hand side, and right over here we have what we normally call here in the fire service, we call them 2 boxes. The name, we say boxes, however, as you can see, they're ambulances. And actually these are the ambulances that we're pretty busy. These ambulances get called quite a bit to provide a service outside, anywhere as far as Calexico down to Imperial. And we relatively together for the type of emergencies that we get asked for, what we call for services. We average about 500 calls a year.
So in this fire truck, what would be the different positions, and what would be the assignment for each of them?
Okay, so this is a TI 3000, as I previously mentioned. If you take a look inside here in the cab, you can go ahead and you can seat up to 4 firefighters in here, which will consist of your driver, your crew chief, your senior fireman, and you normally a junior fireman. We don't man it with 4 people. We typically man it here with a driver and also a crew chief. If you take a look inside over here, you see the seats. You might not think that, you may think sometimes that you have a lot of room, but considering that when you have your turnout gear, your bottles and stuff or whatever, that it's not that much space in there. That's not the reason we man it down to a 2, but we get away with manning it with 2 people because, again, our staffing and the category of airfield that we have here in this installation here in El Centro. Okay, so right over here, this is our 2 command vehicles, and basically in any emergency, this is where the assistant fire chief rolls out to in support of any emergency call for service. And the one over here is our command vehicle, and that's really the fire chief who will go ahead and go on this vehicle. And typically these vehicles right here are outfitted in order to go ahead and run what we call incident command for any kind of emergency that we deal with. And some of the equipment that we have here is, aside from our SCBA bottles and all that, but this is pretty much a whiteboard. And what we do is go ahead and kind of paint a picture, the big operating picture of what's going on in any emergency to anybody else. So basically when we run incident command, that means that security, whether it's medical, whether it's what other resources or entities, agencies that report to that emergency will fall under the incident commander. So out of here, we run a lot of command and control direction to the first responders.